I feel the heat.
105 today?
I feel the heat emanating out of it.
Like 105
and he just stuck his head in there, man.
What's up, guys? Today we're going to talk about 5 things you should look for when purchasing an FC RX7.
A little specific.
It's, yeah, a little bit more specific. These are a little bit more model specific instead of just kind of rotary related things.
Some of them are rotary related. Some of them are, specific to an FC. But I've owned this now for 2 years? 4 years? Like 4 years. Like 4 years.
So cool.
Sick car. Love it.
How much did you pick it up for?
We can't talk about that because they'll be upset that they can't get them for that price anymore. I got it for $2,900.
Guys, if you have the foresight to know that like something's going up in value, like for example the 350Z, yeah, you know, Indy's particularly good at spotting when a car is going to move up in price and picking it up before the uptick, like the 350Z, the 240, the 280, the FC, the 300ZX,
a lot of stuff. I've got
the
them
Miata as well. Like all of these things are going up in value
a lot.
So if you can, you know, as kind of like a pro tip, if you've got the space and the money and you kind of always wanted to get a certain type of car,
Just do it.
You might want to just do it because they go up in price.
These things, I think if I wanted to get like the same car today, I'd be paying minimum like 7K.
I was gonna say 8, yeah.
7 to 8K.
Like the way it sits right now, I'd say 8K.
Yeah. So like I said, I picked it up. It was completely stock. Got it for $2,900. It's a sick car. I love it. There are a couple things that through ownership I've learned that are a bit specific to this that you want to definitely look out for. I definitely went in. I mean, I know how to work on cars, but like I went in relatively just like, whatever, it's a car, I'll figure it out. You know what I mean?
Right.
But so you guys know, like I said, there's a couple specific things. So,
and this is your first rotary, so it's kind of been a learning experience, despite the fact that Indy knows a ton of stuff about cars. You know, everyone's first rotary is going to be a learning experience.
In fairness, the engine is fantastic. People say that they're not reliable. They are if you know how to take care of them. So the first thing I want to talk about is the OMP for this car. It is the oil metering system. It is what puts oil into the engine while it's running. If you don't know, these things definitely do burn oil, which is just in the inherent design of them. But it is necessary for lubrication for the rotors. If you don't have it, you'll destroy it immediately, basically. Some people will remove it and just premix, but when you premix, you know, if you remove the OMP, you're using almost a quart every time you fill up the car, and it's an extra $10, $12 for premix. So
kind of makes more sense to just replace the OMP, and
in some situations, yes. When you're trying to make a lot of power, whatever, it is what it is. You obviously don't care that much about gas mileage or anything like that. So great, delete it, run premix. I do premix this, but I'm only putting in about 6 ounces just to be extra safe because, you know, safe than sorry with the rotary. But if you're looking to buy one of these, make sure the car you get has it and it is working. If it's not working, you're gonna destroy the engine real quick. No one wants to buy a car and be like, cool, this is sick. Now it's broken, you know?
Yeah.
So definitely look for an OMP, very important. The next thing on these have a 5th and 6th port on the intake manifold. The point of this is to, the ports stay closed under low RPM to give torque. Once you get into higher RPMs, and as you know, rotaries rev relatively high, they will open up and allow more air for higher RPM airflow, which VTEC, yo.
Yeah.
VTEC, yo.
Rotary VTEC. Rotary tech.
These are vacuum operated, and I believe there's an exhaust port for them as well to let them know when to open. You can check these pretty simply. They're on the back of the intake manifold, and they are actual physical actuators that you can kind of push on to make sure they actually function. And as the car is on, you know, you can give it some gas, and you should be able to see them, you know, flip open. You definitely want those. Without them, if they're stuck closed, you won't get that extra airflow in top end, and you'll lose power pretty easily. And if they stay open, you'll have a pretty big loss of low end power.
Bogging. And,
yeah. So 5th and 6th port, pretty important. Not all of them come that way. Like I said, check the back of the manifold. If it has the actuators, you know it's a 6th port. If it does not have them, it's a 4 port, and not something you have to worry about anymore. One of the other things is early FCs did have a 4-lug option. I don't think the S5 had a 4-lug option, but early FCs did. This is a sport model, so it did come with a 5-lug and effectively turbo tube brakes, which, if you're modding a car, you want big brakes. You want big brakes, you have them.
Yep.
You want big brakes, right? Who doesn't want big brakes? So it's easier to get something that's already there instead of having to convert, especially with older cars where parts are harder to find, unless you're finding something that's a part out and you can easily get that stuff.
I think that there is a caveat to this. It's tougher when you have vehicles that are as old as an FC.
Yeah.
But sometimes you can get lucky if you're in the right market, or you happen to catch someone who like doesn't know what they have or whatever it is. If you find an FC that like is a really good deal, but it's got a 4-lug and you don't care,
yeah, don't take it, but don't not take
Yeah.
it. Like, take the deal.
Yeah, or grab the 5-lug conversion separately, and
Yeah.
you know, maybe you end up spending less than you would have if you had held out for a 5-lug.
Yeah, which is something we dealt with the 350 behind here, where it is not the fancy brake model, but I bought the Brembos for it, which now he has, and we're going to be putting those on. So it's not always a definite, but if you have the opportunity, just get the 5-lug.
Quiet.
Hi, birds. So if you have the opportunity, just get the 5-lug. If it's already there, it just saves you some time, some effort.
You got better wheel options too. Is the 4-lug a 4x114, I assume?
I believe it is. I don't know, actually. It might be a 4x100.
I mean, there's great wheel options for all sizes at this
but there's
stage
better
of the game.
options for 5x114.
And
Infinite better options.
you know,
honestly.
we're old Honda guys, so you know how it is when you had an Integra or a Civic and you had a 5-lug, you felt like a baller because you had Type R brakes.
Well, and you had cool, and you can just bolt on spoon calipers and
and you could do all kinds of really cool stuff when you had a 5-lug. So for me, like mentally, I would always prefer to have the 5-lug if it's an option.
Yeah, and like I said, most of them, I'm pretty sure all S5s came 5-lug, so that'll make your life a little bit easier. But if you can get it, make sure to get it. Your life will just be, it's one less thing to have to do.
Follow us to the back of the vehicle, as we talked about.
First thing first, if you haven't, please check this out. nightdoings.net. Buy some stickers, they're really cool. The bird already pooped on him. That's sad.
I really like that Jimmy up in silver.
It looks really good, right?
Yeah, I think it looks better than the gold.
I really like the gold, because I was going with the gold. So something specific to an FC, I've owned an S13. It was not the case with that. It was not the case with a lot of other cars I've had. These have a kind of interesting rear toe arm setup where they have ball joints on each end. One connects up to the center of the diff and the other connects back to the knuckle. I need to replace mine, but it's something to look for because as you're driving, you'll be holding the steering wheel straight and the car front will be going straight, but you'll feel it in the rear as you pick up speed. It'll start to kind of shimmy on you. If it does that, like if you take it for a test drive and it does that, just know if you're willing to deal with it, you need to replace the rear toe arms. They're like $200 for OEM type ones and aftermarket, but
yeah, great opportunity to replace the toe arms with aftermarket ones,
which is always nice. But like I said, if it is shimmying on you, it's not something that I would necessarily be the most concerned about because you should be able to just pick the rear up and move the wheel side to side and see that that arm is moving like we did in an FC update video. I'm sure you can transpose
up here. You'll be able to check that out. That won't be out by the time we release this one,
video.
So.
Yeah. So definitely something to look at. They're not that expensive, but I would say it's probably a bit of a pain to get to them because the front mounting point on the diff looks like it's going to be a little bit.
Yeah, it looked a little sketch when we were under there.
Yeah, so whatever, it has to be done. I'm not upset about it. It's just one of those things to definitely look out for if you feel that shimmy at speed.
This topic is related to it being hot as balls today.
Yeah, well actually it is because it's very hot.
Yeah.
This car does have functioning AC.
But
I don't know how long it's going to have functioning AC for because race car. But if you care about AC, which I kind of started to because I'm old now.
I care about AC a ton. I will never delete an AC unless it's like my third track car.
Camera guy too. Camera guy must need AC.
Cameraman likes AC too.
Even for me, even if I have like a weekend sports car, it's gonna have AC. I'm too old for that stuff.
Yeah, I'm kind of right there with you. The 300 has AC.
It's just not worth it.
No.
I mean, if you guys don't care about that stuff, like that's cool.
Well, we've lived that.
We've done it. We've deleted AC for power and weight reduction and all that stuff, and it was just never worth it.
No, it's really.
I did it on the S2000.
Well, like if you live in a place where it's kind of cool, live your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know, I know that there's some people who live like in Washington State and will literally just never need AC.
Yeah, it's never needed. But like here in Southern California, it is 100% a requirement. If you didn't know, global warming stuff's getting hotter. So the AC in this does function, albeit barely. It feels like an old man's blowing some cold air on you through a straw.
That's like how the Volvo was.
Yeah. The reason for this, however, the HVAC controls on this, I learned have a computer, like a pretty specific computer in it, and when that computer kind of goes south, it does not allow you to have full functionality of fan switch and everything within the AC. Replacing that, they still sell it new, but replacing that is a cool $540, and because I haven't spent that cool $540,
He's not cool.
I'm not cool.
See what I did there?
Yeah, I was never cool though, but it's okay.
But you know, you can try your luck and try to get, you know, like I was saying before, try to see if you can source the HVAC, you know, used.
Yeah, that is
sometimes you'll get lucky. Like,
but they are.
I've gotten lucky on a lot of used parts for a lot of stuff.
But that's the thing is again, you know, for a 350, still a significantly more modern car. This is as old as I am. This is 34 years old.
You're really trying your luck when you're looking into a used HVAC for a car that's 34 years old.
Yeah, you know, I don't run so good anymore because I'm 34 years old. You don't either.
I run okay.
He just looks better. Don't worry about it.
Used but in good condition.
Used but in poor condition. Just know that if the AC is blowing kind of poorly and you get a car that does have AC, that's probably the reason why, and it's a cool $550, which I will eventually spend. I need to fix tow arms before I fix AC because I'd rather not bounce on the road.
The car needs to drive straight before it has
AC works. Yeah.
And you know, fortunately, you're in a situation where you have daily drivers that have AC, and we're good to go.
Lots of them.
So that's going to do it for the 5 things you should look out for when you're looking for an FC RX7 used on the market. If you guys are looking, we wish you the best of luck because these things are freaking sick.
And they're getting
honestly,
so expensive.
They're getting really expensive and they're so cool. Like they're just like, they're spy cars. It's like a Japanese spy car.
It's spy hunter.
You want to hold my hand? What are you doing, dude?
Hold my hand. He doesn't want to hold my hand.
So,
I'm not going to lean with you.
Let us know what you guys thought of the video in the comments down below. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. We are not pros and don't know everything by all means, but we're sharing. Speak for yourself, bro.
Semi-pro, dog.
What was I saying?
If you're looking for an RX-7, look for these things because they're going to be things you want to make sure you know about ahead of time.
Yeah, and if we don't know the answer, we'll do our best to help you guys out, or we'll look it up or whatever.
We're not perfect.
Yeah. Let us know what you guys thought of the video in the comments down below, and if you liked the video, please make sure to like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and we'll see you in the next one.
And we appreciate you guys and RX-7s.